Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Welcome back to Jana Talk podcast. Today, we have a special episode because we will be speaking about love and the recipe to a happy relationship. You can stay with a partner for many years, but if you don't find a proper recipe and you don't love each other and you don't respect each other and listen to each other's needs, the relationship cannot be built properly. So, and also another thing is it's not only about attraction and physical appearance and sex, but also about much, much, much deeper things. So I'm truly happy to welcome here my today's guests who are together married for 22 years. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome my today's guests, Jessa and Chris Ulliott. Hello, hello.
Ah,
Hey, Jana.
thanks for having us, Jana.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much. Thank you for
thank
coming to Jana Talk. How are you today?
good, really, really good. Absolutely.
Good.
It's a Sunday, everything's
Brilliant.
relaxed, and we get to see you today and do this. It's a brilliant day.
Yeah, I'm very happy. You are together, married for all 22 years. And when I think about happy and really healthy, happy and beautiful relationship and couple, I always think about you two because you shine really a love outside, inside out when anyone meets you. So I'm really truly happy to talk about this recipe, to share it also to other people because I see so many unhappy relationships staying together. Probably don't know how to handle the situation. So
Yes.
really thank you for being here today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having us. It's such an honor. And this is the second time we've met, Jana. So thank you so much for that. So much. And I think a lot of the things that we spoke about last time in the coaching
Mhm.
comes across in relationships as well. So I'm sure we'll get to talk about some of those.
Yes, Chris, thank you very much for also talking about this because if you haven't seen the topic with Chris, Chris is amazing coach. He also has written a book and he helps people actually all over the world as well, not only in UK. So I will put also in the description link to our episode. You can watch it because it's worth it. And you gave us really amazing tips also for the everyday life, what you do, what you apply, and it was really inspirational. And since then, I tried also to apply a few of the things in my life.
Oh, bless you. Brilliant. And it's working.
Yeah, absolutely. So we speak today about a happy relationship. How did you two meet? How did you meet?
That's a great question. It was
It's that.
22 years ago. And it was quite taboo, really. It was quite, because it was such a long time ago. We
More than
were
22 years ago, I think.
we
Yeah.
probably 24,
Yeah.
20, yeah. Wow. And we were, at that time, we met online, which nobody did back then. We were one of the first people to kind of be able to do that. And we were also quite religious. So it was quite a scary experience to meet someone online as well.
Yeah.
And we did, and we got talking and we built up a friendship. And it was just on this thing called, was it Net Meeting or something?
Yeah,
I think
that's
it was
really
Net
old
Meeting.
school.
So long ago. And in those days, you had to send each other your IP address in order to connect. You had to physically send it. And
Nobody uses that.
no, nobody
now, I
does
don't
that now.
think.
And we met and started talking and built up a friendship. And we were just really good friends for almost 2 years. And then Jessa, she decided that she was going to look for work. And she was living in the Philippines and said to me, I'm leaving. I'm going to America.
Mhm.
And it just dawned on me how much I was going to miss her. And that I could lose her if she, because we've been meeting every day and I might not be able to do that anymore. And I had this panic in me and realized just how much she meant to me. And really, that's when things started to kick off in the relationship because we realized how much we meant to each other. And she did go to America to look for work. And then she went to Canada as well.
Mhm.
And by this time, I'd never flown anywhere. I wasn't a very good traveler. But I thought, I'm going to have to meet this girl at some point because we want to be together. So I booked my passports and got my first flight booked by myself and flew to Canada and met her there in real life. And it was brilliant, Jana, because when I arrived, I can remember coming down the escalator in the airport.
Yeah, I remember that moment.
And, well, who was there? Who was...
Because I was staying with my relatives. So 2 of my cousins, my aunt and uncle, were all with me. So
Everybody
it
was
a
there.
bit awkward, but it was a happy meeting.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. Everybody was there, and I was like, oh my word, there's all these people.
They were there to support me.
And they were to look after you because they didn't know me.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And then my luggage didn't come. So it's my first time I've ever traveled anywhere. I didn't know anyone apart from Jessa online, and my luggage didn't come. And Jessa's uncle, who's also from the Philippines, and he's really quite short. And we went back to his house, and he said, don't worry about your luggage. I've got something you can wear. We went down into his basement, and he got a pair of pajamas for me. And they were up to here and up to here. They just didn't fit. So I was in this country I've never been in with these people that I didn't really know that well. And I was wearing these pajamas that were mine. It was the funniest experience. It really was. But the best ever. The best ever. And I could only stay for 2 weeks because in those times your work would only let you have 2 weeks at a time. So I think within next to no time, maybe 4 months later, I was back in Canada again because I knew this was the person for me. We had to make this work. Even though we're in different regions around the world, the planet, we've got to make it work.
Thank you for sharing. It's such amazing story. Really, how did you meet? Because online, meeting someone online 24 years or 25 years ago, online didn't properly exist. Did you know how you look like before, or you were just texting and writing to each other?
The group that we joined is the Yahoo group, and you only post your photos on your profile. And Chris's profile is his baby photo, really only 2 years old or something, with a teddy bear. Was it a teddy bear? An elephant actually. An elephant teddy bear.
So, to all the men in the world, take note. It works.
So I thought, and then he added me, right? You added me.
Did I? Or did you add me? I think you added me, actually.
I can't remember, 10 years ago. And my profile photo was of me wearing my bridesmaid dress, if you remember.
Yes.
So I thought, he seems harmless. 2-year-old photo. So cute. So we added it. Yeah, that's where it started.
And I remember that picture of you, though, in that bridesmaid's dress with your long black hair. I was like, hello. Hello.
So
How
that's
are you?
all we've got. And then, like he said, we started video calling using NetMeeting at the time. There's also ICQ.
Oh, yeah, there was ICQ. I forgot.
Yes, that's right. Yes, yes.
Really, really old school, and that's how we started. It's the journey started there. It's really amazing where we are now.
I remember even in the early days, we had quite a good routine as well, because even though we were apart physically, we would behave as though we were together in that. When I got up in the morning, I'd come online and say hello before work, and we'd talk and maybe text first and then come online. And then I'd go to work and she'd message me at lunchtime. And then when I get home, I'd go online and say hello, and we developed this daily routine that was almost as though we were actually together.
Yeah, it's the consistent communication and making it work. Getting to know each other. If you really want to make it happen, you will.
And we had the challenge eventually, later on when we did get married and get together, we had the challenge of immigration, where they want to know that, is this relationship real? But because we'd literally lived every day together, but virtually, we had this printout of all of our communications like this. And we just said, There you go. There's all of the detail. And they just said, yeah, no problem, you know. And
Oh, that's good. That's good.
yeah,
Oof,
it
oof.
was really easy for us, that process, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is lovely.
So,
And Chris, when you were mentioning the story at the beginning that you flew for the first time not to lose Jessa, to be with her, you went out of your comfort zone totally to meet her.
yeah, I mean, Jana, we've both done that. You're absolutely right. I was totally out of my comfort zone because I used to really struggle with traveling, which we went into last time. But I was brave and courageous, and I was able to do that. And all I felt on the airplane, I think I told you, I was just showing everyone Jessa's photo from this clip of her in this dress, and I was saying, so excited, I'm going to see this girl for the first time, and I'm traveling for the first time, and it was such a great feeling in myself. But it was a risk. You're absolutely right. But when you see something in life that you want, you've got to. Everybody feels those feelings of doubt, of not being. Am I going to be good enough? Is it going to work? What might happen? Everybody feels those, but you've got to step up if you want it and take it. You know, grab hold of it. And Jessa did exactly the same later on in the relationship because she had to move country.
Oh yeah, this
You
is a
know,
huge also step out of comfort zone.
exactly.
Wow.
Exactly, into a place. I mean, she'd visited different places around the world, but she'd never been in the UK, and the UK is different. And
Yeah, that's definitely. Although I did travel before, moving to the UK to different countries, but actually living in a different country is stepping out of my comfort zone. And just going back to when when we first met, do you remember that for me is also stepping out of my comfort zone because I was so shy, even though even though we have spoken for a long time online, just typing and like this video calling. Meeting you for the first time was nerve-wracking for me because I've never done it before.
Yeah.
We were sat, so we picked him up at the airport, and then my uncle took us very kindly to the restaurant to eat out. And we were sat in front of each other, and I wasn't saying anything. And then they were chatting, and I was just so quiet because I felt really, really nervous
Yeah.
meeting this guy, even though I know deep inside that we're already friends. It felt already familiar, like I've already known him forever because we're chatting online. It's just the first time seeing each other in person is very nerve-wracking for me at the time. So you were so kind. He didn't push me, or he didn't really, he stayed with me. He didn't push me or anything to talk to him or anything like that.
yeah, yeah.
You were very patient
You were very silent.
for a couple of hours.
This is really awesome. How long have you been texting to each other before you saw each other?
In we had a relationship online for about 2 years of
For about 2
building
years,
up our friendship, and then when she left the Philippines, I decided, yes, I want more than a friendship, you know. So that's when we had that routine of being with each other every day and talking to each other all the time, and then finally deciding that I've got to go and meet her in real life and do this properly. Yeah. Yeah,
And you are now 22 years married happily, and it's
yeah.
really. When I was looking at your photos to prepare the banner, you both look so nice, and it's like the time you don't age really. It's you.
We do, believe me, we do. Yeah, absolutely. The photos, they always remind you of the brilliant times that you have and the things that we do together, and life really has been brilliant and kind to us. But at the same time, life always throws something in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's always, hurdles that come up, and there's always some coaches call it gifts. Other people call it problems. We call it gifts. But there's things that always come along. But if you can, rather than kind of getting into situations where you're going, oh, this is you and this is me, and I don't know what to do, and it's not you and me, it's us. And if we can take on that, then there's no blaming things. There's no this has happened because of or anything like that. It's just, how can we work together to keep that feeling that we had at the start? What can we plan to do together to treat each other? How can we keep going out? How can we keep that spark, that energy, that passion of just loving being with each other, even when life comes along and kicks you between the legs sometimes, because sometimes it really does.
Yeah, absolutely. What you mentioned that in life it's normal, both in personal life or work, there are challenging situations or gifts, let's call it gifts or challenging situations, and
Yeah.
it's how did you handle those situations? Because the beginning, what you managed, both of you, this was amazing. But how did you well? What was the next step, for example, with the challenging situations?
Yeah, so, well, just like anyone, Jana, and nobody's perfect, right? Nobody has all the answers. There's no book, and there's so many books out there, but there's no book that just tells you exactly how life is going to be and what to do. There's no instruction manual, so you've got to work it out as you go along. But there's lots of people out there who have more experience in life than us, who have been doing it longer than us, and there's always things that you can learn and incorporate and try out for yourself. So that's definitely one thing, is get the right mentors in life and get people in life who you admire and respect, and see how they've done things and take those on board. But things are going to come up. We had a number of things that were really, really difficult, things like bereavement on both our sides. We both lost our mums, which was really tough, as you can imagine. I think I spoke about how that impacted me on our last podcast where we were talking. But what we've found, even in the most saddest parts of life and the most difficult parts of life, we've found that by coming together, by being strong together, you can work it through somehow, even if you don't know what the answers are in that moment. And then it's horrible when you're in it and you can never see any good sometimes, and you think, what is life going to be like? Sometimes, you can go to really dark places. But if you go through it together and you get through it and have that emotional support with each other, then after it, at the end of it, you realize actually during that difficult time, you actually grew. You actually became closer because of it in some ways. You actually understood each other in different ways that you might not have before because of going through those difficult things. So whilst you wouldn't wish difficult times on anyone, certainly we all need gifts that help us to grow in some way, right? We all do.
Yeah, personal growth is important. But how do you communicate sensitive topics to each other?
Just talk about them.
Yeah, just be honest.
Just anything, just talk, just communicate, because at the end of the day, we're all the same. We all have the same, feelings inside of, am I good enough? What if I aren't? Am I doing the right thing? What if I don't? Am I a good person? What if I aren't? We all have these worries and doubts in our minds because we all have this innate thing that we want to be enough and want to be loved. That's where it's all driven from. And when you go into a relationship, those things don't suddenly go away. In fact, you go into a relationship to exaggerate emotions. So those things become bigger. Am I good enough? Well, suddenly there's this person here with me every day. How can I be good enough in that situation? And these doubts and things can come up. So you need to learn what rate you're both going to grow at together. Because when you first start a relationship, there's fireworks and sparks and energy, but also at that time there's maybe conflict because you don't fully know each other. Even after 22 years, I don't think you can fully know each other. Things still happen. You're always learning. You're always learning. So it's about just understanding that you're the same and that you both have these these thoughts about, am
Even
I
though we're
going to...
different, we are the same. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
there's different way of communication, how I communicate, how you communicate, being a masculine and being a feminine. So we
yeah,
just have to understand how that works and be committed to making it work
Uh-huh.
through hard times and good times.
yeah,
Right? Yeah.
yes. And really celebrate the good times
Yeah.
and celebrate the bad times once you've got through them,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
good.
and keep doing that and finding things to celebrate in life. That's what it's about. And Jessa picked up on a really good point there because, you know, I'm a guy, Jessa's a woman, and we are so completely the same in our soul, in that we both,
Yeah.
you know, we're valued, we're with the same value and same in our soul, but at the same time, our biology is completely and utterly different. And the way our minds work is completely and utterly different. I don't know if you've seen it, Jana, on YouTube, there's a thing going around called the girlfriend translator.
No, I
Because,
haven't seen it.
oh, it's amazing. 'Cause
It's
there's,
amazing.
you can ask a guy can go to work and another guy will say to him, how was your weekend? And he'll go, yeah, good. Yeah. And that's it. And what does he mean when he says that? He just means, yeah, good. There's nothing more. But when a lady goes to work and meets her workmates and, hey, how was your weekend? Oh, it was great. We went downtown and we went for a coffee here and we went shopping there. Oh, and I saw my auntie here and my cousin there and we were talking about this and that's happened. And then we went to this place for a drink and then this happened. Oh, and I bought a handbag and I did this and I did, and there's so much. And the guy sat there thinking, whew, what's all that about? You know, we're different. But it's beautiful that we're different because that energy that Jessa has in all of those things is something I need. It
Uh-huh.
makes me feel alive. And my ability to, you know, be very focused and straight on just one thing, Jessa needs that ability as well. So whilst we're very different biologically and in the way we think about things in the world, we actually learn so much from each other in how to be with ourselves, but how to be in our workplaces and in life as well, because men and women are biologically different. We think differently. I found out a thing recently that I loved, that a man has many boxes in his head,
Mhm.
but he only goes into one at a time.
Yeah.
So this is, you know, some men like to go fishing, so they'll go and sit there all day just waiting for a fish, and he's completely focused. How does a guy do that? I mean, oh my word, so boring, right? Or how can he just go along and play golf, hitting small balls into holes? What is what is that about? And be completely focused on that. Whereas when it comes to women, women have a massive box with everything in it all at once. And she's looking and thinking of absolutely
Yeah.
everything. And this is why she can multitask. She can be on the phone doing the dishes or whatever and talking to her friends and looking after kids and doing this and working and all and thinking about all of those things at once, where a guy would be like, what? How can you even do that? That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
incredible. And a man, we learned recently, a man has an empty box
Mhm.
because he likes to go sometimes and just think about nothing.
Yeah, that's
Literally,
healthy. Yeah, yeah.
I have this. I can go and I can sit for an hour in front of the TV and just think of nothing.
Uh-huh.
This came out with us recently because we were watching a movie, and it was a movie that we'd
Yeah.
not seen, and I said, let's sit down. It was nighttime. Let's turn the lights down and just watch a movie together. And I'm quite excited to watch it because I've not seen it. So we put it on. I was like, great, let's watch this. And then after about 10 minutes, Jessa starts just drawing, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? Why are you drawing? Watching the movie, don't you like it? Shall I turn it off? She said, no, don't turn it off. I like it. I said, but you're drawing. You're not watching. are you watching it? She said. And she was, because she could repeat what people were saying.
Yeah,
She'd
I couldn't
remembered.
follow.
And I'm thinking, but I'm in my movie box. Are you not in yours? She said, in all of my boxes.
Our boxes as feminine, they're all interconnected, right? There's
Yes,
like
yes.
yeah, we
Yeah.
can connect and
Yeah.
see everything.
That's amazing. That's amazing. But what's really beautiful, Jana, is despite we are completely different in so many ways,
Yeah.
but the miracle of life, and I am really religious, if I'm honest, but I do believe it's a miracle. The miracle of life is that it works. We can be so different, and we can have so many different thoughts in our heads when we observe something happens. If something happens, and what Jessa will think in her head will be completely different to what I think.
Yeah.
Just because we're not even two male and female, but just because we're different human beings, it's so rare that you think exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we find a way to communicate and to get on and to make it work, and then being biologically different with our different masculine and feminine energy and bringing that into the mix as well. Yet the miracle is it works. And not only does it work, but it works in a way that it's so beautiful. You are compelled to go through the difficult times and get to the good times with each other, because it's such a beautiful thing when it works, you know?
May I have a question? May I have a question for you? Could you share with us a few concrete tips or sentences? For example, how you start each of you with how the sentences should look like when you, for example, want to talk about some sensitive topic.
I think when anything is sensitive, clearly it's been playing on your mind, and this is just from a man's point of view. But clearly something has been playing on your mind, and it's a difficult thing. Maybe it's something that you're worried about talking about it with your partner because you're worried how it might affect them. You know, that's like a sensitive thing, right? So it could be anything, but you're worried about telling them because they might get angry at it, or they might get upset or something, and you don't want to talk about it. As a guy, all you ever want as a man is for your wife to be happy. So to have something in your head that might make her think, oh, I don't like that, or I'm going to react to that emotionally because it's sensitive. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that thing anymore. It's difficult. Then in my mind, whenever you have that, you've got to talk about it right there and then. You know, granted, if there's an emotional situation going on already, wait for it to calm down.
Yes.
So wait until you're both in a good state together.
That's also
But you-
part.
But you cannot not talk about things because you're worried about how it's going to affect the other
Yeah.
person. And here's the reason why, Jana. Because in life, when things happen to us, we don't have emotions because of the things that are happening. We have emotions because of the meaning that we give to them. So if I say something to Jessa and she reacts badly, she's giving it a certain meaning. Or if you say something to me and I react badly, I'm giving it a certain meaning. Is she saying I'm a bad husband? Is she saying I'm not good in this? Is she saying I don't make enough money? Is she saying whatever it is, the meaning I give to it is my chosen emotional response. So that means that if I have something on my mind, I need to say it, and I can't guarantee how she's going to respond, but that is on her. Does that make sense?
Oh yes, absolutely. And to follow up on that, when there's sensitive topics that we want to discuss or say, what we think first is what's our intent. You know, there's always a good intent, whether I'm the communicator and the other one's the receiver. That's the main thing that we think of first, and especially for us women, we can be emotional, we can be passionate sometimes with our language sometimes, and
I love that you call it passionate. I love that you call it passionate.
we are. It comes in many ways, And especially in the language, the words that we use sometimes, we could say some hurtful things sometimes. So it's always helpful and useful to start with with how I do it is I don't use the you, which always
Yeah.
implies the blaming situation, which will not help any situation, any relationship. So the way we say it is, or I would say is, it would be more meaningful to me, or useful to me, or helpful to me if we do it this way next time, or if we say it this way next time. So
Yeah.
there's always intent in every situation, whether it be a conflict or a sensitive topic that you want to talk about, or a disagreement. You gotta just stick to that issue. It's not to do with each of you. It's you gotta stick to that, because if you do that, then you go through that painful situation. It's not
Mm.
really that painful, because it's you go through it together, if
Mm.
you agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Together. Not as individuals blaming each other
No.
or even looking for blame. Just this is the situation. Let's get through it together as a unity. It's us. It's not I or you.
Mm.
It's how do we do this? And we went deep on one of these recently, actually, because we're remembering how we used to be a long time ago in preparation for this.
Mhm.
And something might come up and we'd react a certain way, or I might say something that sounded a bit harsh or just not in the best state. Or I'll say something and Jessa will be like, that wasn't very nice, or she might close down or not talk to me for a little bit or something like that. And we were just examining it recently and saying, what was the intent? What I said, Jessa, first of all, when you go quiet in reaction to me saying something that you felt wasn't a good thing, what's the intent in your reaction? Her first brain answer said, I wanted to hurt you and get you back because you'd hurt me.
Yeah.
And that's the brain answer, okay? Because the brain is always trying to look after us and make us feel safe and secure. So it will fight back, and that's completely natural and right. But here's the thing, the heart has a different answer. Because I said to her, okay, I completely get that, but what, I understand that you wanted to get me back, but why? What's the aim? What's the intent really? And then she said, well, the intent was don't hurt me again. And I said, why? Well, because I don't want us to be like that. Why? Because I want us to have a good life together. Why? Because I love you.
Oh, this is nice. Yes, yeah.
So the intent, if you keep going layer by layer, the intent of even what may appear to be a difficult situation or a stressful situation, the intent underneath it, if you keep going lower and lower and deeper, is always a pure, positive, good, beautiful intent. And then I can say, well, if that's all it was, if that's all it does, then we're good. And we can move on and get back to how we are normally. So, yeah, I always have this thing, Jana, that even though we react emotionally out of our heads sometimes, and we don't always react the best way, let's be honest, we're all the same. We don't.
We're just humans.
Yeah, we're human beings and we're complex creatures, and we've got psychological needs to meet that we're even unconscious needs that we're meeting all the time. And sometimes when they're not met, we feel hurt and we don't know why. Well, the intent underneath all of that, though, is always to build a good life together and enjoy life together and have fun and be loving and give back to life. If that's the intent, then, well, let's apologize, first of all, and let's say sorry. I'm sorry if anything I have done is hurt you in any way. That is not my intent. And I see you, I see that you're feeling these things, and I want you to feel anything you are feeling. I don't want you to quash anything down. Just be you, and that is exactly what I'm looking for.
Oh, this
You
is
know?
so nice. Thank you both for sharing. You mentioned so many really great tips for anyone. And I really love how you go layers of the onion, that you really are asking each other what is the intent, right? Or intent, yeah. What is the intent behind it? Because
Yeah.
first it may look at the beginning that it's that he wants to hurt him or her, but actually he doesn't want to be hurt.
Yeah, exactly,
Or she.
exactly. But the mind will always initially have that defense mechanism because we just have this protection thing.
Yeah.
You know, if I do something that makes her feel insignificant or unloved in a moment or something, she'll go, "Ugh," and that's completely normal. We all do this, and it's okay to feel that way. It's natural. But the key, I think, in developing a good, healthy relationship is how quickly you can recover from those situations when they happen.
Yeah.
So build a technique where you can, first of all, validate how are you feeling there in the moment, and then look at what's deeper and what's the good intent underneath it, because there's always a good intent.
That's very good.
During our first years of marriage, I used to, when we have disagreements or I used to do the silent treatment.
Mhm.
I was that type, and it used to just it used to just become a poison to me. I think what I quickly learned that communication, and like you said earlier, you gotta be honest and talk about it there and then. Of course, when you're in a different, calmer state, but silent treatment doesn't always work. I used to think, just following up on what he said, where when I don't speak to him, when I do the silent treatment, I used to think that I'm hurting him, but the only person I'm hurting the most is myself. So I quickly learned that, and it isn't really helping the situation. So you were so patient, and he quickly made me see that that's not the right way to go with it. It's being
That's
the
growth. That's growth. That is growth. That's beautiful.
that's during the first few years, because that's I suppose that's how I was used to it before we got married. Yeah, so it doesn't work like that. It doesn't help.
No,
Yeah.
it definitely doesn't. But I think that the fact that you are feeling that way is natural and okay.
Yes, and that's it. He makes me feel that my emotions, he acknowledges my emotions are valid, which is also very important. Between two of you, it's, you let each other feel how they feel, make them feel valid, and then you sort it out.
And I think it's natural that when you used to go quiet, that was a defense mechanism and completely 100% okay. But
Yeah.
the reason why I think it's natural is we were at an event with 13,000 people, and there was a question put to the audience, which was, to all the men in the audience, put your hand up if you felt unsafe in the past 6 months. And maybe one or two men put their hand up.
Only one
And
or
then-
two. Only one or two.
One or two men put their hand up if they felt unsafe in the last 6 months, yes.
Okay.
But then they said, okay, to all the ladies, put your hand up if you felt unsafe in the last 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
All put their hand up. 13,000 people, half of them put their hand up, and that's such a huge learning, because masculine men typically feel okay. We don't worry if the door's locked or not. We don't worry about if the house is too secure, because we just believe that things are going to be okay. We want to live in a world where we can feel like that. So we act as though it's like that. But what I've learned, particularly when Jessa was there on a night time, are the doors locked? Are we safe? Is everything okay? Is the gate closed?
Yeah, I also like to close it, and when it's not locked, I feel strange. It's crazy.
That's it.
Yeah.
But my mind is saying, we live in the middle of the countryside. There's only, I don't know, 30 houses here. There's nothing here. There's nobody.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? You're okay. We could leave all the doors open. You'd be fine. No, because
Well,
people with a
Yeah.
feminine energy feel unsafe, and that's why when a man says something that might even be a little niggle at whether she can trust him or not, whether she can be herself or not, any little niggle, if she feels unsafe, she's going to do that. She's going to lock up and go quiet and not speak and feel unsafe. This is the natural difference between masculine and feminine energies. So it's okay to feel like that. But what we've learned as we've grown together is that by locking up, you're not getting back at your partner, it's just hurting you.
Mm.
So it's a real good line. There's two other things. There's feeling unsafe. A lady always needs to feel unsafe, always needs to feel safe, because that's always on her mind. The other thing is, she needs to be seen. She needs to be observed and seen for everything that she does and who she is and how hard she works to become the best person that she wants to become. She needs to feel that she is absolutely seen. And when life is happening and you're working and you're watching telly or you're in the kitchen or whatever's happening in life, stuff happens. Sometimes you forget to look and see. And sometimes it's just a good thing to sit and have presence with each other and go, I see you, I get you, I everything you do is incredible. Everything you do is for us. It's for the relationship, it's for the house, it's for us in one way or another. And I really see what you are doing. So it's really important, first of all, to feel safe. And secondly, to be seen. And there's one final one. And these are all particular for the feminine energy kind of thing. So the ladies amongst us. And I say that because sometimes you can genuinely get a feminine guy or masculine. We've all got different levels of these. So that's why I refer to it like that. But the last one for feminine energy, as well as being seen, is the feeling of really being understood. So if you think that your partner actually understands you, because sometimes with those emotions all over the place, like ladies get sometimes, you don't even understand yourself. So if you can be made to feel understood in the relationship, I get where you're coming from. We don't always agree on everything. Sometimes we see things differently, but I understand you. I've taken the time to see you and I understand you.
This is brilliant. Thank you both. I was taking notes as always, but like I was really surprised when you mentioned both of you the feeling safe. In how important role does it play? Because also when I reflect to my previous relationships with ex-partners, I always also was looking. Even I didn't realize it when I was like reflecting on the past. If I really feel with the partner safe, how do I feel? Even I am safe. Everything is like normal. It was like something in the background in my mind what played a role, which is really interesting. I didn't really put any importance to it as much as now when I realize it after when you said it. And when you mentioned being really present with your partner, listen to him or her, and that the woman wants to be seen and understand, in fact, like seen, like that she is important to the partner because he really sees her, he values her. So that means I would say also that it builds the trust, much, much deeper trust to the partner.
That's the key word, Jana, trust. Absolutely. There are also three things on the other side as well, because if somebody feels unsafe, that the natural thing afterwards is to try and say, why did I feel safe and what can I do about it? So you might get things where a lady starts to tell the guy, I need you to be like this, or I need you to be like that, or why did you do this, or why did you do that, in order to try and understand and make things better. But what happens over time is that this can grow into, a little bit of coaching or a little bit of criticism even. It can go down that path. and over more time that can build. And we see this in other people around us quite a lot. And because of that, we were really sensitive to it. So if I feel criticized by Jessa or coached by Jessa, I'll say it so she knows, because we don't want to go down that path, just like she'll tell me when she's not feeling safe, because these things are poison to a relationship. If she feels unsafe, she is not going to be open at all. And if I feel criticized as a man, then I will run. Criticism is not educating a man to be a better version of himself. That does not work. What calls a man to be closer is vulnerability and openness and love. That will pull a man in. If you're being vulnerable, he will be there for you in an instant, because that's just a calling to his soul. But if you're criticizing him, over time he will start working longer hours. He will go to the pub. He will go for long walks by himself. He will start to have more and more of his own time and less time together, because when he feels criticized, he feels as though he's not enough, because his only desire is to make her happy. If he feels he can't, then he's not going to show up anymore. So it's absolutely vital for a masculine person to not feel criticized in a relationship. There's two more. So the second one is controlled. If you try and bring a man in and hold on to him tight, if you control what he does because you're feeling unsafe, maybe you're being controlling. I don't want you doing this, don't do that, because these things might happen. This might happen, that might happen. If you're the kind of lady that really holds on to your man tight, you are pushing him away. But if you set a man free, if you let him go, he will come running straight back to you. This is exactly how it works. Exactly, because when you set him free, what you're basically saying is, I see you, everything you do, and everything's good about you. And when you say that to him, when you send him that message, he's going to be straight back there with you. So criticism and controlling, whilst they have good intent, they're having the opposite effect of what people want. Yes.
Well, what advice would you have for both women and men to do or not do, or to do it differently? How to do it differently so they are more happy as a couple?
Yeah. So it's really important, Jana, to first of all just realize what's happening, because when two people are struggling, it's not just them that are struggling. They are basically running patterns of behavior that is prevalent throughout society. Okay, so first of all, let's drop the blame. It's not these couples' fault. It's not his fault. It's not her fault. The way society is set up these days is not conducive, particularly to a really good, happy, healthy relationship. And that's why people feel unsafe. And that's why men feel criticized, you know? So first of all, realize it's not your fault, but do take the challenge of identifying when it happens and then realizing that you're not getting the results that you want, and make a change. Because the thing is, there are so many people, so many relationships that split up. We all know the statistics. It's difficult to stay together. Well, actually, it's not.
Yeah,
But-
absolutely not.
but some would perceive it difficult because of these things in society that are happening, and because they're not jumping in and fixing them where they need fixing. So what they do is they argue more and more, worse and worse. It builds up and builds up to the point where they decide they can't live. They might love each other, but they just can't live together anymore. And they split up. But that doesn't solve the problem, because they go into the next relationship and do exactly the same thing. You know, some people have been married many times or in many relationships because they just keep getting to that same stage and not realizing that by doing the same thing over and over, you're not actually growing. You're not making the changes you need to make. So if you can identify when you're feeling criticized and go, oh, that feels a bit like criticism, or oh, hang on, I don't feel safe, or I'm feeling controlled, or I'm not feeling seen, or I'm not feeling understood. If you can see those moments and just say, whoa, stop, we're not perfect at this, but let's really learn from this moment and do something differently so that it doesn't keep coming up. People live like this on a daily basis sometimes. It comes up with us from time to time, but rarely now, because we work so hard to understand it and to understand each other and be with each other in it. So when it comes up, we're now able to, 10, 15, 20 minutes later, we're back to this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
From my experience as well, is when you asked about how do we deal with that, or how do I deal with that from feminine perspective, I think it's very important to turn your expectation into appreciation. So appreciating the man instead of criticizing them, instead of telling them constantly what to do.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a space to do that. The right time, perfect timing as well is very important. But turning it, not expecting things, and turning appreciating the mentor, showing them love is more important than criticizing them, trying to change them the way we want them to, because I think that's quite common in women. Again, I'm generalizing. When they start a relationship, is they think they can change the man that they want to live with or being partner with, but it's not. Them grow, letting them be their own self.
Yeah,
Is more important.
loving them for who they are, not who you can turn them into.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's
beautiful.
important. That's thank you for this, for mentioning this. It's very important. When you mentioned Jessa regarding the behavior to the men, to the partner, I think that's that women should not tell them what to do, because men are not kids, right? They are not children, so they are grown ups. So why to have this behavior? And one more thing, when you both spoke, I took a note. What do you think? How important is personal growth by each partner in the relationship?
Yeah. So interesting what you said just on that, Jana, though, about men not being kids. Because if they're treated like kids, they will become kids.
Oh.
We all become how we are treated. We become what we think the expectations of us are. So a man will step out of his mature masculinity into an immature one if he's treated as a kid. But if you instead see the man in him and love him for that and give him his freedom, then you'll own his soul. You'll absolutely own him, and there'll be a deep connection when you do that. But when you turn up saying, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that, there's no deep connection in that. You're just pushing him away. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, growth as well.
Growth.
Is very, very important in a personal level, individual aspects, and in the relationship, because if there is no growth in anything, then it's dying. So it's very important to grow as individual as well, because I know it's very cliche when we hear people, you make me feel happy, you make me feel this, you make me feel that. But if you as yourself don't feel that first and foremost, it's not gonna last. It's not a lasting feeling for you. So you have to learn first how to love yourself, to be happy in your own skin, to feel that you are enough. Your worth, your self-worth is important. So when you are in a relationship with your partner, then you grow together. Yeah.
You absolutely do. Yeah. I think also we've learned a lot during our relationship. Nobody gets this right at the start.
No.
And even today we don't get it right all the time. Nobody is the ultimate expert in this. Nobody has everything. One thing I've learned, I think you'd feel the same, is we tend to stack memories and emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And what many people do is, and I think what sometimes we would do in the past, is stack negativity. So this happened, and I will never forget that happened. Or, or all these different, this happened, and that happened, and that happened, and then that happened, and then, all these things that happened. Oh, I don't know where this is going. I don't know. Are we right for each other? I don't know. And you introduce these doubts. But how about stacking some of the good?
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody does that.
Wow, that's
Where
cool.
was your first kiss?
Oh, yeah.
Where was that? Do you remember your first kiss?
Mm.
Where was your first kiss, Jana?
I do remember actually. It was at grammar school when I was kid, and it was in the swimming pool.
Whoa! Wow!
And I was really shy.
Yeah, we need to certainly remember those times, but with each other when you are a couple. Remember those moments. Where was your first kiss? Where did you do this? Where did he go for that? How did he feel when you went there? And yes, if you're going to stack the bad because that's a security blanket, you're trying to control things. But if instead you stack the good,
Yeah, that's good.
and you list them as often as you would list the bad in a day or thinking of these things repeatedly, well, equally as often stack and list the good things that you're going through on a daily basis. This happened, that happened. Simple things like, I can remember a couple of nights ago, Jessa put my pajamas on the radiator.
But it's good, no? Putting pajamas on the radiator, no?
Really cold house.
It's too cold in the house.
It's an older house that we live in. It's beautiful in the middle of the countryside, but it's a cold one. But I remember Jessa put my pajamas on the radiator for me just to make them warm. And that's what I'm stacking. That's the one of memories that I just don't want to go, that she did that for me. And then if you can do that on the little things, it's easy to do it on the bigger things, but if you can also do it on the little things, then you will feel differently, because you go from feeling unsafe or insecure or not sure about things to feeling cared for, nurtured, loved, that someone's got your back. So stack the good. Remember your first kiss. Remember the funny moment.
Yeah.
Remember the movie you watched together where you laugh so hard that you nearly peed yourself, or whatever it is. Just remember these moments that fill you up in life and in your relationship, rather than remembering and filling up on all the negative things that we tend to do.
That's a really brilliant thing what you mentioned, Chris, because I think usually people tend to remember, well, also like the thoughts during the day. We have, I think 60,000, 80,000 thoughts during the day. And usually the majority of the thoughts, according to some survey, is negative, regarding negative things or negative fears for the future that people are really putting into their mind. And this is really brilliant how you were speaking about putting into our mind, or stuck the good things, good memories, and not only thinking about the negatives, which majority happen positive things. So why our brain would be stuck with one negative thing which happened once in, I don't know what period of time.
Yes, we remember those because of the amount of emotion we attach to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you remember, where were you when 9/11 happened? Everybody remembers because it was such an emotional state in everyone. Yeah, I was at the dentist and I heard it on the radio. I was driving the car. I was at home and these people were there. You can remember so much detail because of the emotion. If I say, where were you the day before? I can presume where I was because I may have been at work, but I can't quite remember. The emotion wasn't there. So in a relationship, we do the same thing. If there's anger, if there's strong emotions or deep sadness, you'll remember them.
Yeah.
But don't forget about the really happy times as well.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the really loving moments as well, because they're there as well. They're all there for us to be observed and to be enjoyed,
Yeah, because we sometimes generalize, so we and delete as well. Sometimes when you used to pick me up from work and we ask, how's your day? And then I would say, oh, I had a bad day at work. And then you would say, well, was it really a bad day? Or was it just 10 minutes of your day that didn't go quite to plan? But yeah, so we generally tend to delete the rest of the day just because of that one very emotional
Yeah.
that happened. But it isn't really true, isn't it? It's not a bad day. It's just a small minor thing that happened. So that's very important to look. Yes, there is negative, there is bad there, but look for the positive as well and keep going back to that. And like you said, if you try and if you look and go into that state of when you first, fall in love, that that feeling, that emotions is very powerful to look back into and keep stacking that, like you mentioned, is very important.
And this one gives me so many good things to stack. It's so easy for me because she just gives me thing after thing after thing to remember. She really does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, amazing. What do you when you think about the whole relationship when you met and up to now, what are the biggest lessons what you learned? Some of them probably you mentioned already, but what are the biggest lessons you learned?
Good question. I think for me, if I may go first, I think what I learned is love isn't just about feeling good. It isn't just about being happy all the time. It's also not. It will also not protect you from uncomfortable feelings, from conflicts and everything. But if you commit and decide to be there for each other every day, to constantly show up and love each other through the good and the bad times, to the happy and the sad times. That's it. I think that's I observed that that's the recipe for me.
Lovely. Thank you very much,
Right.
Jessa.
It's interesting, is that one. Many people think that love is just an emotion that you feel, Something I've learned is that it's something also that you have to do. Love is an action. You've got to do stuff. You can't just sit in a relationship and go, do I feel loved? Is this right for me? No, you've got to show up and be loving in order to be loved and to show love. And to be honest, the way it works, it's not about how much do you love me and how much do I. None of that. That's immature relationship. What it's about is how much can I give to this? How can I show up and give more, love more? Because by doing that, I'm really getting back to what is my core nature of a man, Even silly things like we always joke about this, but I don't want Jessa to have to go out and take the trash out, the bin. I don't want her to have to do that. I will do it. And I get excited about doing that, not because I'm taking the trash out, but because she doesn't have to when I do it. That's me, in my mind, being loving because I'm doing something. Love is an action. And when you love someone, you're driven to do them. You want to do them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One more thing occurred to my mind when you were speaking about this amazing example, Chris, what you just gave us regarding the going out with the trash, with the bin.
Yeah, little things, yeah.
There are different love languages. How did you find out in your relationship what love language, what is important to do to the other one? Because some of the people love, I don't know, gifts. Some of the people love attention. Some of the need to talk. Do you have different love languages, or how do you have it?
So we're quite similar in the way when we do things, how we make each other feel loved. But there's one key about this, because lots of my clients bring this up to me. His love language is this and mine is this. So how could we ever make each other feel loved, And that often comes up. I think we're quite aligned with what makes us feel completely and absolutely loved, whether it's an action or whether it's just saying it and being completely present when you're saying it, whether it's just grabbing the hand at the right moment and being there for each other. It can be any of the, or for some people, it might be buying a gift that makes them feel completely loved, and that's okay as well. For others, it's not that. But whatever it is, it's to me, Anna, it's not about just giving love in the way they need it. Understand all of them and do all of them. Just show up in every single way, unless one of you doesn't like a particular thing, and there's like some defense that comes up, like don't hug me. Some people don't like hugging too much. I'm a big bear, so is that. Some people might not like that, and if they don't, then don't go there. That's absolutely fine. So respect those boundaries, but at the same time, what are those boundaries really? Feel safe with each other. Learn to feel safe with each other. And I think if the guy shows up and he shows that he thinks about you feeling safe and he understands that, and if he's present with you, then you can open more and be safer. So those boundaries will drop away over time. And on love language, do them all. Buy the gifts. Buy the gifts. Have the date nights. Have the hugs. Say the words.
Yeah.
And not just the I love you, but tell her why. Why do you love her? Go to the deep places. Talk about the difficult things, because all of this is the juice of life and the juice of a relationship,
Oh, when you are talking, Chris, I can see also Jessa's face. It's so adorable.
Yeah.
It's so
I feel
adorable.
so loved. No, just following up on what you just said earlier, it's more about the giving rather than more of the what can I get, because when we say it's nice to be to if someone makes you feel loved, it's nice to feel that way. But if you love them first, unconditionally love them, continue giving them, and to do with the love language, do them all, and understand what they really tickles them, what really is their love language. Do them all the time without expecting anything back. And that's when love grows even more and becomes natural. You don't have to pretend, you don't have to perform, because it's very powerful. It's that kind of love.
The only love you can be sure of in life is the love that you give.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Absolutely. And what about freedom? How important is freedom to each to both of you, to each of you? Because sometimes in a relationship, everyone might need a little space as well and do his or her things.
Yeah, particularly being a guy, that's certainly one of my needs sometimes. So, I might need a freedom or go have some alone time, or
He needs to be in his own box.
yeah, in my
Empty box.
my empty box sometimes, yeah. But because rather than loving what we do, we love who we are. So it's okay to go and do the things you need to do. It's absolutely okay. And by saying I love you when you're doing what you need to do, I love you when you're doing this, when you're doing that, even though it's not with me, you're doing your own thing. I love that you're doing your own thing. I will help you. I'll pay for you. I will, whatever's needed for you to do your own thing, because I love you. That's what life's about.
Yeah, that's very important to not control each other.
Yeah.
Let them grow, let them have their own space, like you just said, Jana, because they let them flourish.
Yeah.
Because there's it shows that you trust each other. It shows that you love each other. Yeah, you feel safe enough to be their own self.
Love it.
It's almost, sorry, Anna.
No, go on.
It's almost like when you first get together, you have a certain way of being loving and feeling it, and then as you mature through the relationship, it develops. So when you first get together, it is all about what am I getting? Because I met this gorgeous lady online. I'm going to go see her abroad, and it's all about me. Really, this is happening in my life, and she's beautiful, and she loved speaking to her, and you know. And same for her. It's, oh, I met this guy. He's got a good job. He's got a house. He's does this. It's all about what he could be for her, kind of thing. And that's how it starts. But then as it develops, it becomes less about what you are getting, much more about working 50-50. So, you know, I can see he works hard in the relationship, so I will work hard too. Working with each other, working in our jobs for the relationship. It's all about us. We kind of, you do the dishes, I'll do the drying. It's all kind of shared at that level. And then it grows even further to where each of you as an individual person will put in all of the effort, 100%, all of the time, showing up just because that's who you are. So if I can, I will put the trash out all of the time, you know, because that's what it's about. It's not about her doing it half the time and me doing it half. That's not what it's about. That's an immature love to us now. Although it was right for us at the time when we went through that, it's where we were. We were at the same level at the same time, so we were both giving and taking. But now, where we are today, 22 years later, we both are just so full up that we just want to give. And it's, to us, it's more meaningful when you do that. It's more fulfilling when you do that.
Yeah. Give and love without expecting.
Yeah, with no expectations, just appreciation. Yeah.
Absolutely. Perfect. Perfect. Is there any message you would like to share to people who are watching or listening to today's episode about love recipe, about healthy relationship?
You go first.
I have a message which is relationships are messy. Relationships are sometimes hard. Relationships can have all sorts of ups and downs. Just like life, there's no difference. Ups and downs. The down times are difficult, but when you go through them together as a couple, they're still difficult, but you're able to carry each other through. And the miracle of the relationship is that despite you being different as a man and a woman, or whoever you are, whatever energies you have, it all works out if you put the right understanding in and put love in. If that's what you have going forward, then it's going to work out. If you put down all of these expectations, you did this, you did that, you should be like this, you should be like that, and just appreciate them for who they are, then the magic happens and it comes together. And you find, if you live like that, you find that you've got a really good, compelling future. No matter where you are in your relationship, you can look forward and think, yeah, we've got some good places to go, some fun times to have, some loving times to have, some learning times we're going to grow. And we know it's going to be difficult as well in the future for everyone. Even after you've been together 22 years, we know there's something coming down the line. It's going to be hard, but we know that we're going to get through it. And that's what it's about. There's always a way forward. Have that compelling future. How do you see yourselves in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time? What's life going to be like then? If you work like what we've been talking about here today, there, as rare it is for two people to see life in exactly the same way and understand things the same and be the same, you're just not. That is, you just don't. We're not the same. So as rare as it is that you'll ever see everything the same, it still works because you complement each other. So why not learn to trust? Why not let yourself feel safe, reach out and have a relationship and see where it goes and see how you can build it and put down the criticism and put down the, oh, everything will be okay and safe, and meet each other's needs the way they need to be met. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chris.
That's
That'll
really
be
good.
my message.
What about you,
For me,
Jessa?
that's how can I top that? Maybe just a few words to say. Don't be afraid to fall in love. Don't be afraid. Don't let fear of getting hurt hold you back. Love is a very beautiful and powerful thing to have. The connection that you feel within yourself as well, and with your partner is something beautiful to be had. It's and like what we've talked about, the commitment to stay together, to go back into that feeling of when you first fall in love, stack those good things, those beautiful memories, and always see, understand each other, see them, not just understand them is what I mean. Your presence together is very important. Yeah, that's, I think, for me.
I think you can see why we've got a good relationship. It's all there.
It's so amazing, really. Both of you are so sweet and incredible, really. Thank you very much for being here, for talking about all this beautiful topic, and also your tips how to make the relationship really valuable and feel safe, and also build trust within the relationship with the partner. It was really pleasure to see you both, listen to you, and talking about this topic. Thank you very much for your really time.
Thank you,
Thank
Jana.
you.
Thank you ever so much.
Thank you very much. And I also thank you, ladies and gentlemen, who are watching or listening to today's episode. If you know about anyone who is struggling with relationship or needs a little encouragement, share this episode with him or her, because it's just incredible. I love it. Today's tips. And next episode, you can look forward to discover more about Jessa and Chris and their secret daily routine, which makes their relationship even better. So I'm looking forward to seeing you next time, and I wish you a wonderful Sunday and wonderful week ahead. Bye bye. See you soon.
Bye.